Imagine you're sitting on your couch or laying on your bed, swiping away aimlessly on TikTok, and you stumble across a TikTok video of someone claiming to have terminal cancer. It tugs on your heartstrings because maybe you have some friends or family members who've had cancer in the past or currently are fighting against cancer, so you click on their profile to see how far along they are with their treatments. From there, you find out what form of cancer they have, but you also see a link to a GoFundMe account where you could donate money to this creator. The GoFundMe is for the medical bills because they can't afford to pay them.
I'm so excited to figure out how she got caught.
Being the generous person that you are, you donate to the GoFundMe account. But a couple weeks later, you start to see issues with the content this creator is uploading, and how these videos and explanations for their treatments are contradictory to one another. From their equipment that they are wearing to the story that they're explaining, it seems like something isn't adding up. And you start to realize that this is a big scam in order to make a bunch of money off of naive donators who've gotten taken advantage of and used to donate money to someone who never even had cancer in the first place. Today, we talk about the biggest scumbag on TikTok, and trust me, there's a lot of them on that platform. Like Tix and Roses, who faked having Tourette's for donations and sympathy within the community, or Miles JJ, who faked having autism for donations to fund a new bicycle because his old one was supposedly stolen. But in the end, he stated that he made the whole story up and persona up just to see if it would work. These are just a few scammers on the TikTok platform who are willing to put their image aside to take advantage of unsuspecting victims to make a quick buck. Madison Russo is the most recent scammer who was exposed for her scheme. But unlike the other creators who I previously mentioned, she was one that received a lot of attention from the media and podcasts. She'd get so much attention that Madison was invited to speak in front of thousands for the National Pancreas Foundation. But before we even continue the story, I have to give a big thank you to the sponsor of today's video, which happens to be Aura. Have you ever thought to yourself, what happens if I Google myself? And you end up doing just that, but find yourself on public sites that show your address and personal information.
You know, when it comes to
data brokers who are making a killing selling your
when it
information
comes
to
to
robocallers,
people that do
scammers,
this
and others
for
who
their
wanna know
own
more about,
personal
like where you live.
monetary
See, I get a
gain.
ton of scam calls every
Yeah.
week, so trust me,
Are you a
I
piece of
know
shit?
how annoying it could be. That's why I'm
Yeah.
excited to tell you about today's
You are.
sponsor, Aura. Aura
Right.
can identify data
But for those
exposing your info
like
and opt-out
but for those like take for
requirements
example
required to
Lance Armstrong,
if you ask them to,
who
they make it
simply because of his existence raised millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars for cancer, but then gets caught cheating with steroids. Not as much of a piece of shit, right? Because those cancer patients that received money because of Lance Armstrong and his foundation and who he was as a person, do you really think they care that he cheated to get number one? No, they got the help they needed, right? So whereas in one, yeah, you're a piece of shit, bro, blah, blah, cheated, all this stuff. Give a fuck. He made all that money. He made millions of dollars for cancer research. And the people that made money from Lance Armstrong, are they going to give that money back? Because it's easy to cast him out, but are you going to return all of the money that you got that was ill-gotten because he was a dirty cheater? Yeah, probably not. They probably didn't, right? So there's levels to this shit. There's some things that might not make you that big of a piece of shit. I don't think Lance Armstrong was that big of a piece of shit, bro. He did more good than harm. But this girl right here is all the way through and through a piece of shit, doing it for personal gain and all this shit, not even having fundraisers or charities or giveaways or none of that shit. It's just straight up just going to you. Trash.
She had pancreatic cancer. Madison, who was 19 at the time of her diagnosis, started to post regular updates about her life and about her treatments. Starting in February, she'd post a status on Facebook stating, "This past week has been one that I don't want to relive for many reasons. After feeling sick and just off for a while, several lab work was ordered as well as a PET scan and bone marrow biopsy to figure out what was wrong. On Thursday, February 10th, I received a call from the oncologist at the University of Iowa saying that the PET scan revealed a tumor on the outside wall of my pancreas, and the bone marrow biopsy revealed the cells were cancerous. From there, I was informed that I had pancreatic neuroendocrine cancer. After meeting with the oncologist, I am currently in the process of freezing my eggs for future fertility use before chemo starts, and I will be starting chemo in pill form and radiation Monday to be on my way to being cancer-free. I would be lying if I didn't say I was not scared. In fact, I'm terrified. Anytime you hear the word cancer, it is gut-wrenching. Although I don't know what the future holds, I have to have faith, be patient, and have trust. I know God is giving me this trial for a reason, and He has prepared me. Now the battle starts. I'm ready to tackle this beast, attack, and show that cancer messed with the wrong person. This was a status of a seemingly strong person, someone who was going to fight as much as possible in order to live. And at first glance, it seemed legit. Shortly after the status, Madison will post another status saying that she would be posting life updates and video updates on how her treatments were going to show how strong she is. She'd post another update a month later stating that she was able to speak to students at St. Ambrose College, and she'd say, "Today I had the pleasure of meeting and speaking to admitted students and future Ambrosians at the College of Business at St. Ambrose. I was honored to share my story with students, their families, peers, faculty, and staff of my journey of battling cancer, and still being able to finish out my semester because of the supportive and loving culture that St. Ambrose has been giving me during this difficult time." This post was extremely positive, but people started to wonder how Madison could be going through chemo and radiation but still have a full head of hair. Madison would post a status during Easter weekend speaking about the vitamin.
I didn't want to say anything and risk sounding like a dick, because maybe there's people that have gone through like a little bit of chemo and that's all they needed was a little bit of chemo. I don't even know if a little bit of chemo is a thing. Maybe you just do chemo or full chemo or no chemo. I don't know. But I was gonna say that, like, but you got hair. Like, what do you mean? And you can tell, and it's not just hair, man. If you've ever known anyone that's had cancer, it's their overall physical appearance. Their skin looks different, man. Their facial features look different. And sometimes it's scary to see just how different they look before they even started the process. My aunt had cancer and beat it. So I saw her go through chemo, and dude, for a while, she did not even look like the same. Like, it was just hard to believe that that was my aunt. It's not just the hair. It's like your whole fucking everything. So, yeah, girls all the way. Full of shit. But you know what? It's probably a whole bunch of dumb little fucking simpy dudes talking about, this girl says she has cancer, bro. She's super fucking cute, man. She looked like that anime girl that I drew last night in my notepad, and I jerked it to it. Like, that was a lot of what this was. Cute girl says or does anything, and some dudes turn their brain off and they're just like, what? You got cancer? But that's crazy. I'll give you money. Yeah, it's like, it'd be like that too.
Vitamins she uses to keep her hair.
So I take 2 every morning. So biotin, collagen, and keratin are crucial vitamins that are shown to help with like hair, skin, and nail growth. And it's by the brand Well Labs. It's a beauty complex, but you can go to welllabs.com, or I'm sure it's on Amazon. But
your mom has cancer. She lived through. She has or currently has. I'm sorry if I'm like, if that's like prying or anything like that. But yeah, both my grandparents on my dad's side died of cancer. And then my aunt picked it up like 10 plus years ago or something like that. And it completely fucked with her physical appearance. Why is this girl orange? Oh, Earth. It's because they don't know how to use makeup. She's got that Donald Trump sheen going on with her face. These girls don't know how to use makeup. I guarantee if she does this with her shirt, fucking Casper White all the way down. And it's because they don't know how to... I just know this because I know this, man. They don't know how to blend their colors properly, man. First off, Personally, fucking hate makeup. Think it's a waste of time. But I can deal with it. It's just like sometimes, bro, it almost looks like you dipped your head in Alabama clay. You went to Alabama and it rained and you stuck your whole fucking face in some Alabama mud. And you know how that shit can get like orange and reddish sometimes? That's what you fucking look like, man. Look like a dirty Q-tip.
But I've been taking these. I've noticed a huge difference with my hair too. So that's been another really great product.
Type of girl that she lays in bed with you, and when she lifts her head off the pillow, looks like someone shit on your pillow.
It's helping. And then my last thing is I've been using Olaplex. So I've gotten into the Olaplex game. I've never used it, but I was like, I need something super, super good.
A week later, she'd have to update her supporters once again to state that her cancer was responding great with the chemo and radiation, but sadly the cancer spread to her blood. And along with the stage 2 pancreatic cancer, Madison would also be diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. But these things.
And you know what the sad part is? You know what the sad part is about all of this? Is that both, Bob, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the follow, dude. I truly appreciate it. And thank you so much for finding the channel. And of course, she's a Madison. You must have known a crazy Madison. No, the only Madison I ever knew. She was cool. Soccer player. What the fuck was I saying? Here's the scariest part about all of this. And this just goes to show you that this will never stop. And I don't think this will ever get better either. Is both of my grandparents died of cancer. And then my aunt had cancer. And you would think that me having that much experience with people that have cancer, that I would know more about it. I don't. I really don't. So, like, I don't know what to call bullshit on. Like, when someone tells me, oh, I have this, this, and this, and it has anything to do with cancer, I'm just going to flat out believe them. Because, one, what piece of shit would lie about that? And then two, I've never had it. I mean, yeah, sure, I know other people that have had it, and just some of the lingo and the words that were used and the verbiage that was used throughout the entire debacle, but I don't know it like that, right? So, like, if I can be easily bamboozled, I can't imagine someone who literally knows less than me. So this is just such an easy thing to exploit. That's like the crazy part. That's why this will never stop. You'll always see people like this. And especially on TikTok, where no one really asks any fucking questions. No one really does any digging or investigating, especially if it's a cute girl on your fucking screen. It doesn't make me that mad, because at the end of the day, the only person that she's really fucking over is herself. That's it. You're fucking over yourself. Not me. Right? Like, yeah, my loved ones died of cancer. They're gone. You ain't doing nothing to them, and you ain't doing anything to me with this kind of behavior. I didn't donate to you, so I ain't mad. But I truly do understand why other people get way more fucking mad than I do. It's kind of like with stolen valor. Being that I was in the service, some people expect me to get really mad about stolen valor. I don't, bro. I feel bad for those guys. Their life sucks that bad that they have to go around in public and try to flex on civilians and pretend like they're in the military. I don't get mad at it, kind of just like scoff at it and slightly look down on it. And at the end of the day, you kind of feel bad for them, because you got nothing going on with your life, bro, if this is what you're doing. Faking cancer for money and stolen valor and impersonating police officers. It's crazy.
Things didn't stop her. In fact, for some reason, it made her even stronger. A couple posts after this, she'd state that she got her dream internship with John Deere, and how she wasn't going to let a little cancer push her to the back burner, and how it was easy to put makeup on and fix her hair to make it to this interview. The post stated, I threw on a dress, said nothing a little makeup and hair tools can't fix. When I got the call with the offer, ironically enough, I was sitting getting a blood transfusion. A good reminder that you can do the hard things in life, whether it is cancer or not. Cancer is not going to put me on the back burner for what I want to achieve, but instead will just be another chapter to my life. Now, in hindsight, this was one of the worst and most out of touch posts she could have ever posted to her Facebook account. It was not only tone deaf to the people who actually had cancer around this time, she also lied her way to an internship with John Deere. Now, around this time, a GoFundMe account was created for Madison Russo, but to point out, it was created by someone named Tom Bolin. Now, keep that name in mind for a little bit later because trust me, it all comes back around. The description of the GoFundMe account states, on February 10th, 2022, Maddie Russo found out she has pancreatic cancer and has been going to battle ever since to win this war. Maddie is currently undergoing vigorous chemotherapy and radiation treatments. They make her very sick, but just like the Maddie we all know.
Nah, bro, the only treatment this girl's going through is that damn fucking air spray tan at the tanning salon. You know the one I'm talking about, ladies? The ones where you just walk in. It's like a walk in and you just stand there. You just rotate 360 degrees while this thing makes you look like a soggy ass pumpkin. Yeah.
No, she never gives up and is a fighter. As one can imagine, this diagnosis has been very hard on Maddie's family. Just like with any cancer diagnosis, the cost of medical bills, gas, meals, and expense can be a burden. And that is something this family should not have to worry about. If you are able to, donations would be greatly appreciated to help cover medical expenses and to allow Maddie to focus on one thing only, which is to show
I want to know how this bitch got caught.
that she is stronger than cancer and will beat this. Please donate/share if you can. The more attention Madison received, the more money went towards that GoFundMe account. But this was more of a lie that she had to consistently reinforce. Madison posted a status of her hair, quote, falling out, even though you could clearly see that the ends were just cut off and it actually wasn't falling off. Then she'd get a
Not to mention, yeah,
you could clearly see
that hair's been cut. That doesn't look like hair that has just fallen the fuck out. I mean, I wouldn't know about hair falling out because I don't have hair falling out, but I do know what cut hair looks like. Or, you know, one could say, oh, she was being proactive about it. Found out she had to do chemo, went ahead and chopped it off. But that's not the case. That's not the case here.
That the ends were just cut off and it actually wasn't falling off. Then she'd get a central line which is used for drawing blood, but of course that was a lie as well. She'd then be interviewed on the Project Purple podcast where she'd state cancer was, quote, ugly.
The first word that comes to mind is just ugly. You know, it's an ugly disease. It's nasty. It's very just aggressive and, you know, it wants to just kill everything, but at the same time, I think I would.
Oh, god damn. That was cringe. That was cringe. Spoken like someone who has no idea about cancer at all. It reminds me of the movie The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Remember when he's trying to convince his friends at the poker table that he's had sex before? And he's like, have you ever grabbed a breast and it's like a bag of sand? And they're just like, bag of sand, man, what the fuck are you talking about, dog? Like, what? No, that's not it at all. And that's exactly what this girl is doing. She's just like using all these words. Like, people don't speak this way when they talk about cancer, especially if they have it, especially if they know someone who has had it. That was so hard to watch. Let's watch it again.
Ugly. You know, it's an ugly disease.
And you can just tell she's lying. How can you also tell that she's lying? Bro, who talks about cancer this much with a smile on their face? I mean, look at this.
Project Purple podcast where she'd state cancer was, quote, ugly.
The first word that comes to mind is just
Yo, bro, who talks about having cancer with this much of a smile on their face? I understand being optimistic. I understand, fighting it, right? Doing what you got to do. But from what it looks like here, it just looks like you're laughing through your teeth because you're getting away with something you're not supposed to be getting away with. And she's laughing at everyone because she feels like she has won the day.
Ugly, it's an ugly disease. It's nasty. It's very just aggressive, and it wants to just kill everything. But at the same time, I think I would describe it as kind of like a, I don't know, like ever changing, because it changes you as a person. And I guess I'm kind of going into like the spiritual side of it a little bit.
Dude, a car accident changes you as a person, girl. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, yeah, you're gonna go through some massive fucking changes. Like, of course, it's cancer. It's life altering.
But like, yeah, when I can, like, it truly changes you. Like, I feel like I'm a whole different person than from when I was, before February. Like, just my outlook on life. And I know it affects far way too many people. And we talked about the funding isn't, it isn't there. And I think more advocating needs to be done. And that's why I do it, because
I don't know if more advocating can be done. Fucking cancer is interwoven into American culture and society at this point, man. I can't speak on behalf of the rest of the world and how they deal with cancer and approach it as far as treatment. But here in America, it's pretty well talked about. I don't know about you guys, but I hear about cancer a lot. A lot, whether it be on TV, a commercial, at a gas station, at the mall, anywhere. Someone fundraising, anywhere. I see them about as much as I see fucking girl and Boy Scouts. So, I don't know, man. I don't think so. I think it has just the right amount of promotion. Or awareness, promotion.
More advocating needs to be done. And that's why I do it, because I want people to live. I want to live. I want there to be a cure and to not have to go through.
This girl has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. And like I said, I don't know that much about cancer. But you know what I do know? I know when someone's lying out of their fucking butthole. I know that's what she's doing. I can tell.
Forge your own custom class in a classic Vanilla Plus setting.
All of the terrible, leaps and bounds you got to go through.
Sounds like she's talking to her mom about where she was. Instead of going to Becca's house for the sleepover, she went to Johnny's house and got railed, and now she's getting questioned by her mom and has no idea what the fuck to say and is just rambling.
Just to have an 11% survival rate. Like, we need that higher, and I wouldn't wish it on nobody. And
now, for her to go on this podcast and not be sick was troubling and manipulative, but again, this is Madison. During September of 2022, she'd speak about how bad she felt for children with cancer, but would also post photos of herself either at the hospital or near a toilet where she looked like she was throwing up. And in October, she'd be invited to a gala in Chicago where she would speak her story in front of hundreds for the National Pancreas Foundation, which again is horrible. This was equally as horrible as the interview she had with the North Scott Press just a few days later, where Madison made some comments that made it seem like it was easy to fight how cancer affects you mentally, like where she said, "Of course, every day can't be sunshine and rainbows, but you can't just choose to be mad at cancer. It just happens to people. If you stay depressed and in a dark space, I feel like your body will never get better." Another tone-deaf statement from Madison. Of course, this interview comes after finding
You can be the most optimistic person in the fucking world and prey on it every damn day and still succumb to this girl, bro.
out that she had a football-sized tumor on her back, which was inoperable, and how she only had an 11% survival rate over 5 years. Now, as Madison's TikTok started to gain more and more traction, there were more people questioning the authenticity of her videos and cancer diagnosis. People started to point out the discrepancies within Madison's TikToks, and she started to lay a little bit under the radar. In January of 2023, she'd post an update to her GoFundMe account stating, "Overdue update. Maddie's cancer has been progressively getting worse and has spread all over her body, including throughout her blood."
That's interesting. Her cancer gets worse as people start to call her out in the comment section about some of her videos. That tracks.
And also on her spine. She has tried everything and given it her all. Chemo, radiation, and other methods have no longer helped. She has decided to start a clinical trial drug to see if this could be a miracle and put Maddie in remission.
There is a way out of this for her, but I don't know if she's going to take it and or use it, or if she has or if she's savvy enough to even think of this. But there is a way out of this without any kinds of further embarrassment. It is the internet, right? All she has to do, easiest way out of this, all she has to do is go dark as fuck online, stop posting, stop interacting, stop doing anything, and fuck start deleting shit too, right? And then whoever posted this, have this person post something else talking about either she died or you are just fucking out of it, just done. You're vegetable in the hospital, can't do anything more with social media, and then just pray to fucking Christ people forget. Usually when it comes to these things, people forget in about a week's time. I want to say the average lifespan for outrage in 2023 lasts about 6.5 days. So yeah, could do that, but I don't know. I don't think she'll take that option. Let's see how it goes.
The process is unfortunately not short and will be years ahead, yet she's still smiling. Even with feeding tubes and IV poles, Maddie thanks all of you for your continued support and prayers during this time, and she wants you to know how grateful she is for each and every one of you all. She said she wishes she could just go and give everybody a big Maddie hug and individually thank each person. Without this support, she would not be where she is today and couldn't have made it this far. Here's to the greatest comeback story ever and a miracle in 2023. With a photograph of her with a tube in her nose, this was Madison's nail in her coffin. After this, medical professionals reached out to her local police station to give them information about her TikTok videos and how there were major discrepancies and life-threatening videos that could affect anybody that tried to do what she was doing because she was obviously faking cancer. Also, I forgot to mention her GoFundMe.
Oh my god, she wasn't out here giving remedies, right? Because you can't do that. She wasn't out here giving remedies like, guys, I have cancer, but I got this new fucking face lotion from Bed Bath & Beyond, and it's just been working for me. I feel so much better today. Please tell me she wasn't doing that, because yeah, you can't do that. That's, I mean, I don't know why. I don't see a problem with it. If you're dumb enough to believe this bitch, then that's your problem. And cancer's cancer. It doesn't make you stupid. It just makes you sick. So, I don't know.
Account was close to surpassing 30.
Hope she went to jail. She kind of has to. Or she's gonna have to pay back all of the money that she got in donations. Which, it's a cancer scam, so you're looking at anywhere between starters for a cancer scam, $30K minimum. $30K to $100, maybe even $200K. That's what I'm guessing that she stole from these people. From whoever donated to her and all this shit. Yo, Devil, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for the follow. And thank you so much for finding the channel. What a turd.
$1,000.
Not you, this girl.
Now this led police to arresting her during her class.
She did get arrested. Damn.
And during the investigation, the police found medical equipment such as an IV pole, IV tubes, and medical badges. Not only that, but they also found a 2023 Kia Sportage, $346 in cash, an iPhone with a black case, a brown wig, 2 different planners, 4 pages of emails from Coachella, financial statements with bank information, including information about another person, 2 prescription bottles prescribed to another person, receipts, gift cards, and a Michael Kors purse. They also reached out to her doctor's office to see her medical history.
God, this girl's an idiot. This girl's an idiot. I mean, she bought a car. But outside of that, dude, if I'm gonna fucking scam people, all of the money that I get from scamming is more than likely not going in a bank. It's not going in a bank, and I'm not doing fuck all with it. It's going into some kind of savings. Some kind of savings. And yeah, bro, you go off grid with this shit. Like, Jesus Christ, she was tied to so much shit. Financial statements, bank information, information about another fucking person. Who knows what's in that information? Could be social security numbers, could be addresses. And she used all this money for horse shit. I don't know, man. When it comes to money, dude, I kind of just like put it away for like a rainy day if something bad happens. And in my head, something bad is always going to happen that's going to cause me to fucking spend money because I hate spending money. And so I just don't do anything with it. And then you have these people out here fucking scamming, making thousands, buying the dumbest shit. Like, do you really think that's going to last forever, dog? Come on. Play your cards right, make your money, get the fuck out before the casino catches you. They don't do that, though.
Cards, and a Michael Kors purse. They also reached out to her doctor's office to see her medical history, where it was proven that Madison Russo was never diagnosed with any form of cancer.
Shocker.
And she lied about the entire story. But the story gets even darker. Now, allegedly, this was all a ploy between Madison and Todd Bolin, the guy who created the fraudulent GoFundMe account. The TikTok account that's been documenting the whole situation uploaded text messages from someone close to Madison's family. Now, again, take these screenshots with a grain of salt, but in them, they state, here is a little bit of an idea / timeline that came from close family friends to the Russos. So it starts with Maddie Russo and Tom Bolin having an affair for 3 years. Peggy, Maddie's mom, was always trying to get her away from him, but it obviously never worked. In December of 2021, Maddie fakes a pregnancy to get Tom to leave his wife, Janet, who he has a daughter with, Jill.
Yo, she's a connoisseur when it comes to faking shit. Jesus Christ.
Who has given him a granddaughter. It doesn't work.
What a psychopath, though. Faked a pregnancy to get Tom to leave his wife, who has a daughter, who has given him a granddaughter. Oh, Lord. This girl's a shit show. This girl needs to go work in Vegas. That's the best place for scam artists. Hell, they thrive there. Don't even get caught up in anything too much. Unless they fuck with the wrong person and get got. But, yeah, this girl's got a solid career in Vegas. Either as a hustler or a hooker. One of the two. Pick one.
And Maddie threatens to expose him. February of 2022, Maddie claims she has a football-sized tumor on her spine. No evidence. In the following months, Tom is paying Maddie's bills, while Maddie only lets Peggy go with her to public events, speaking, fundraising, etc. Maddie and Peggy go to a gala in Chicago, where Peggy finds a doctor willing to give a second opinion. Maddie freaked out, called her mom every name in the book, called Tom, and got a flight home immediately, leaving Peggy there alone. January comes around and Peggy gets a call asking about how
I'm not sure if I give a fuck about any of this stuff, but we'll finish it.
Maddie is moving to a very expensive condo in Bettendorf with a brand new car. Peggy is shocked and tries to reach out to Maddie, but of course gets nothing. Maddie didn't just raise $38,000 on GoFundMe, which the majority of the donations were
I knew it. 30K. 38,000. Didn't just raise a 38K on GoFundMe, which a majority of donations were Tom using fake names. Okay. How does that work if you're donating to yourself? Is it even a donation? That's just moving funds, motherfucker. Okay. She's raised well over 100K in her own profile care accounts. Okay, so damn, I was right, bro. Between 30 and 200K. So she's looking at, I don't know, let's just say ish here, about 150 to 100 and because at 138, that shit's gonna balloon once they actually tally every single fucking thing that she got through ill-gotten means. So we're looking at like $170,000 worth of payback. That's have fun with that. Could be worse. You could be like that Sarah Kavanaugh bitch. She's got to pay back like, I don't know, she's like 700K or some shit. Stupid hoe. What you get?
Tom using fake names. She's raised well over $100,000 in her own profile care accounts. Again, take these screenshots with a grain of salt because they could be false, but since Madison posted bail, of course from Tom, it seems like everything has been extremely quiet. Now, Madison is the epitome of someone who will do anything in their power to continue a lie in order to benefit from the situation. Not only did she benefit from her stories, but she also benefited off of other cancer patients who were actually dying. But again, she didn't care. She lied in their faces, suggesting that they need to be positive in order to beat cancer when it normally doesn't work like that.
Oh.
Now, Madison is a loser. Don't be like Madison. But how do you feel about this situation? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any creators you want me to check out or make videos on.
I can't believe this type of behavior came from what seems like a nice girl. But she's not a nice girl. She's an evil twat, man. But there's been worse. She's not the worst. There could always there could always be worse. So I don't understand women who fake pregnancies. Yeah, I don't understand how these moms and dads don't do anything whenever their son gets falsely accused by a female. Either falsely accused or does some shit like that. Like fakes a pregnancy either to get something from him or to get him to stay or to blackmail him or just trap him and stuff like that. Because nah. Nah. There's the only way if I have kids and I had a son, the only way I don't beat the shit out of the girl that did that to my son is if the mother of my child gets to her before I do. Like, there's just no fucking way. There's no way you're gonna goddamn do that. It's shitty. It's lack of home training. Fatherless behavior. Yo, David, what up, dog? Happy New Year, man. Happy 2024. Can't believe it's 2024. I remember being a kid and they were like, what do you think 2020 is going to be like in 2030 and 2040 and 2050? And I wrote down a whole bunch of fucking nonsense. Like jetpacks and flying cars. No. Instead, we have TikTok and pronouns. I was all wrong. I was all wrong, man. I called it bad.